I want to say,
Let's do it.
number one, I think you're wrong about that. I think you're the one that doesn't know how to kiss.
Oh!
And there are girls before you that always, wow, right? You're the only one it was like stylistic.
I see.
You know what I mean? And very good. Very, very good. And you made me feel like I wasn't good at kissing or that.
No.
Yes.
No.
And I'm going to give you a compliment. It's not the best. But it's not the best.
What is that backhanded call?
Yeah, name someone. Brendan Schwab. I'm a beast. Wait, we can't talk about it?
Yeah, we can talk about that.
Aw.
If you,
No,
I would love to.
talk about what?
Why don't you want to talk about Brendan Schwab? But you're down.
it's just,
Well, just correct me where I'm wrong.
We don't
Yeah.
need to stress you guys out.
it's gonna distress him because. Okay, go ahead, Ethan.
You okay, Bobby? So you guys
To go from one
Oh my
thing.
God.
What?
You don't have to, like, one of the threats was to expose something about me, about, and it was a very specific thing about it.
Well, we might as well talk about that.
About a
now.
time, about something that I had been doing while Bobby and I were broken up.
Okay.
So we had an open thing.
Just take it all from them.
Okay, so we had an open thing, right?
You guys had an open relationship.
Yeah,
right?
I was
and
with
Khalyla saw somebody in Hawaii.
a lovely person.
Lovely guy. I know the
In
guy.
fact,
I like.
Bobby.
I just want to announce to everybody that Khalyla and I are no longer together. I want to say that Khalyla is the love of my life, my best friend.
It's my go.
Yeah.
Do you have anything, Khalyla?
I just don't want to like say it. This podcast has like changed my life. I never thought that I could ever like dabble in anything creative. Like, you know that question earlier when you were like, what's one thing your younger self would like never believe?
Yeah.
Is that I would even be allowed, or that I would allow myself like a creative outlet, you know?
Bobby Lee has been on the wrong end of the stick for the last couple of months, and it sucks. And it really all started back in May 6th of this year. If you guys remember, this was when Khalyla and him both went on a live episode of the H3 podcast. To summarize what happened, Khalyla thought that this would be a great idea because she was under the impression that if she went after Brendan Schaub's neck, the whole internet would love her and that she would be a queen of the fighter and the kid subreddit. And although she did get people to hate Brendan Schaub and Brian Callen for what they did, this really only affected Bobby Lee's and her own reputation along the way. Because it was very clear that during the episode, she was the one that was super excited and happy to talk about the situation and just blow it up. While Bobby Lee wasn't. There were actually a couple of times where she put him on blast for being scared of not telling the stuff because of what, you know, Brendan Schaub and Brian Callen would do. Just think about that. She really thought that nothing bad would happen and that everybody would just love her for going after the most hated men on the internet. But the opposite happened. So let's get into it. And well, exactly 2 months later, on July 7th, they released a Tiger Belly episode in which they did an official announcement that they had broken up. At first, the fans were really upset that, you know, she was still living in the house and they would essentially be living together but broken up. It just didn't sit well, and I can understand why. But when that happened, I really thought that it was only a PR move to try and get heat off Khalyla. She was getting annihilated online and the fans were not happy with her at all. And the reason why was because things didn't look so well. You know, while she was out there in Hawaii having fun with somebody else, Bobby Lee was in a rehab center, in a horrible rehab center, relapsing in Tucson. So things just weren't looking so good.
Essentially, something happened a while back in my life that just that shocked me, and it kind of traumatized me. And, you know, it's okay, babe.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay, babe. That was so rude.
So serious and the largest
It's
slur.
so rude, but you know what? I'm
blame
going to
the
let it go.
straw.
I
It's
know.
these cardboard straws.
Yeah.
Another reason that made me think this was wholly a PR move to try and save Khalyla's reputation was the fact that when they announced a breakup, Bobby Lee took the entire blame. Like, he just took the entire blame and said it was all my fault. She has nothing to do with this. It's all my fault. The funny thing is, even though this was a complete layup for Khalyla, she blew it because all she did was cry and then say that the show had changed her life and she was happy for the show. But she took zero accountability. She took no blame, and she didn't even say that she was thankful for Bobby Lee, honestly. She was just saying she was thankful for the show, which is wild. Also, remember this because this is very important, okay? Remember that the reason why they broke up, or the official reason why they broke up, was because Bobby Lee had stopped paying attention to her, to the point where he was playing video games and she was crying behind him because he wouldn't pay attention to her. Just remember that because it's going to come up later on in the video and it's very important, okay? And now this is where things get very, very interesting. And if you're liking the video so far, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. It helps out a ton. It's free, and I will be uploading quality content at least 3 times a week. Thank you. I appreciate that. But it was very clear that right after the breakup, Bobby Lee started ramping up his output of, appearing on other people's podcasts, doing different shows. And something that caught my attention was that he actually went to smaller podcasts, like real small podcasts. I'm talking about YouTube channels with less than 4,000 subscribers and even less. Completely blew up the episodes with like over 300,000 views, which is insane. And it was very clear to me that he was trying to prove a point. The point being that he was the main attraction, the main draw, the core part of the business, of the Tiger Belly business, and that he was still hilarious and had a game, which he did. He proved all of those things. Like I said, every episode, every appearance that he did, whether it was Theo Von, Bert Kreischer, or those smaller podcasts, he completely blew those episodes up. The numbers were insane. He also talked about a TV project with Theo Von, and while he was doing all of that stuff, well, Khalyla was getting crushed online. Now, here's the thing. Everybody started to notice how insane the situation was and how careless she was and still is with Bobby Lee. Like, it's insane because while Bobby Lee was out there on a breakup tour, essentially trying his best to paint Khalyla in the best picture possible, saying that, she is his best friend, that he will always love her, that, he was just trying his best to save, whatever's left of Khalyla's reputation. And while he was doing that, Khalyla, on the other hand, she was on her Trash Tuesday podcast flirting with her producer.
But then Khalyla made it mistletoe.
Oh my God.
And what?
I got peer pressured.
And what?
Put the mic near your mouth. I want to hear
And
you
what?
say it. I want to hear you say what you
I got
did.
peer pressured.
And what?
It was just a little.
And what?
It was just a little dab on, like,
Tongue?
if this is Khalyla,
It looks like her.
It would just be this.
Okay, I want to watch the video.
Oh my God.
And if it's not that,
It is that. I
be
promise.
honest with me right now.
This is my one chance to tell the truth.
Yeah,
before it all goes down.
Yeah.
I said it.
I'm going to say
She clearly doesn't care about other people and only cares about herself, because think about that. As a boss, if this is serious, you are putting that employee in a weird situation between, Bobby Lee and her. Like, it's not the best work environment to creative that's going on. And I know a lot of people will try to defend her by saying, it's a show, it's a comedy show, and they're playing it up for views. Sure, maybe I don't get the joke, but the fact that Bobby Lee and Andrew Santino were actually upset or were bothered by the producer and what he did says it all. Now we get to the best part of the video. What I'm about to show you guys is a clip from the last episode of Tiger Belly, which I think was filmed in the Philippines. Now take a quick look and pay close attention to everything that is said, because we will unpack it afterwards.
So I want to know an update on your dating life.
What do you mean?
Well,
You're dating.
Yeah.
not only that. Can I just tell you guys what dating looks like for about?
All right. Well, let's not call no names.
No names. No names.
Okay. All right.
Mariska
But
Hargitay.
I have never seen someone go at such lightning speed on 3 simultaneous dating apps. And I mean, he's swiping life. Well, he's swiping life.
He kind of is swiping live. He's swiping
He's
live.
swiping left on the hottest chicks. Like, I look at it, I'm like, I
See.
cannot believe
Okay.
Nice.
you're.
Right. So I look at clothes, that. Sometimes I'll see the first photo. I'm not sure, so I'll go to the second. And the second photo, I'll make a decision. They're mostly lefts.
For 13 hours of that entire flight from LA to Manila, it was just hinge. I could not believe my eyes. lightning.
But can I say
speed.
this?
No Bumble.
Out of why I'm on Bumble.
3 of them simultaneously. So he's on Raya, Bumble, 4, Tinder, and Hinge. All of them.
Yeah.
Tinder is good.
Yeah, Tinder is.
Tinder is
It's-
it's mythological.
It's interesting.
It's if Middle Earth had like a dating app, that's what Tinder is. But there is somebody that a couple of people I've met that I like that I'm kind of seeing. So that being said, that's the truth. There's a couple of people that I like hanging out with and that I like their energy and maybe.
Wow, a couple of things that we need to unpack here. First, you can tell there is a clear night and day difference from how Bobby Lee responds to Khalyla, because before he would just be submissive, say, yes, I'm the worst, I suck at this and that, and now he actually fought back. He fought back and went as far as to call her out and say that she was the one with the problem. Take a look.
Kid, if it's a white kid.
Wait, I have a question.
That I want to say.
Let's do it.
Number one, I think you're wrong about that. I think you're the one that doesn't know how to kiss.
Oh!
And number two, can I say this?
Oh!
And I like it. She didn't like me doing it on her.
No, it's because you're not. No, it's just you don't. You gotta do it with your whole chest, and you don't do it with your whole chest.
Yeah, he does all
You just do
hips.
it
Like
like
mouth, which is the way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
I'm
don't
not-
go to,
You're
right,
very polite.
right. I don't listen.
he doesn't do toxic masculinity. What are you
It's
talking
not
about?
even that, dude. And there were girls before you. It was like stylistic.
I see.
You know what I mean? And very good. Very, very good. And you made me feel like I wasn't good at kissing or that.
No.
Yeah. I want a white woman with a little Asian.
Bobby Lee also talked about how he was dating other people. And funny enough, on another episode of Bad Friends, they were describing, Bobby Lee's ideal girlfriend. He was talking about, a blonde woman, this and that. And I did some digging, and I think I found a possible lead. You can see that Bobby Lee follows her and that he's been engaging with her, and she actually fits the description that he had for his ideal girlfriend. Now, funny enough, you can't really see it anymore, but that was a heart. That's what caught my attention and made me think that that was a possible lead for Bobby Lee. And then Bobby Lee dropped this bomb. This is going to sound crazy and corny, but the fact that Bobby Lee said that he was good at what he did, but it was Khalyla that didn't like how Bobby did it, says a lot. Because remember when I told you at the middle of the video to remember that the reason why Bobby Lee and Khalyla broke up was because Bobby Lee was dry and he didn't want anything to do with Khalyla. But now it sounds like he did. Like he was trying his best and it was just Khalyla that, wasn't feeling it. This is wild because at first, the reason for their breakup was, it just didn't make sense because the original reason for their breakup was that Bobby Lee was ignoring her. So I just thought that it was a weird excuse to break up a 10+ year long relationship over, wasn't adding up. And now it makes me think that that excuse was just a lie, just to take some heat off Khalyla. So to me, this is clearly the beginning to the end of their relationship, open relationship, or whatever they have going on, because they still live together, they travel together, they do a lot of things together. But it won't be long until Bobby Lee, finds a woman, whoever, that and then he realizes that he can just be as happy, if not happier, with somebody completely new. Because here's the thing, I know a lot of people might say that whoever he dates will only want him for his money and fame, and yeah, that's fine. It doesn't matter. I mean, you can argue that maybe Khalyla did the same thing. So now if Bobby Lee is on another level than he was 10 years ago, wouldn't he be able to get somebody that is way better? I mean, that matches his now higher income and higher fame level. I mean, that makes sense, right? Now, I'm only joking a little bit with that last comment, but the truth is, it doesn't matter how much money you have. If you have no social skills, it doesn't matter how much money you have, you're not going to have a woman or a man willingly hanging out with you every single day. Okay? You gotta have something. You gotta have some character. You gotta have some charisma to have whoever it is, to have somebody be next to you and hang out with you. It's work. It's not just money, But yeah, I do think Bobby Lee is completely crushing it. And again, it's only a matter of time until he appears on Joe Rogan Experience, promotes his next huge project with Theo Vaughn or whoever, and then just completely completely blows up to the next level. Been holding himself back for the past 10 years. No comedy special, no big deals, nothing too crazy, because for some reason, something was holding him back. Clearly. Now he isn't being held back and he's completely crushing it. So I do think that he is so close to just completely skyrocketing to another level of fame. And I don't know what will happen to Khalyla. I wish her the best, and hopefully Trash Tuesday continues to be successful, and maybe she can find somebody else that is similar to Bobby Lee, which I can't really think of one person that is like Bobby Lee. So that's all we got for today, guys. See ya.